Hello, Earth Angels, and welcome back to another episode of Alignment Academy. I know we have quite a different setting this time, and I think it's just fitting. I just went through a little quantum leap with my move and everything else, and I was trying to find somewhere in my house to record, and it is an absolute mess in there. And it was like the most gorgeous day outside, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna actually do this outside. So this is gonna be either my worst or best idea I've ever had. I know the lighting might not be amazing. It would have been more ideal to do this at sunset when it was like beautiful out, but we had to get an episode out to you guys, and you guys know that my consistency and commitment is like my number one value to you guys, and I wanted to just get something out, so it was now or never. Take that messy action, you know what I mean? At this point, I think it's like so funny because I have undone my perfectionism so much. It's like I almost take too messy of action sometimes, you know what I mean? And I always tell my clients like done is better than perfect, and I really live by that. Like I would rather just get something done and it look not amazing than not get it done and have gotten less content out. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but if you are trying to heal your perfectionism, done is better than perfect. Get it stamped on your forehead, get it tattooed on your forehead, do whatever you need to do because it's true. The other thing is we don't really have a topic today. I think I want to do like a little bit of a life update, as well as talking about some things that just have been present in my reality, some things that have been coming through my channel, and things that I feel like my guides are pushing me to talk about because they're going to help someone. And yeah, so we're going to just kind of flow today. If you're new here, I'm Kristen. I'm a spiritual mentor. I really work with healing your inner blocks so that you can thrive in your life and your business. I am an angelic channel. I also help people connect with themselves, their intuition, develop their intuitive gifts, a lot of things. But we really look at life as a spiritual journey here. And the more you evolve spiritually, the better your life gets. And this is actually something that I was just talking to one of my team members about, like how your frequency is impacted with trauma work. And I don't think that a lot of people know this. When it comes to trauma work, you know, a lot of people want to raise their vibration and they're like, how do I raise my vibration? But one of the most underrated ways to raise your vibration is by actually healing your trauma. We want to think of your vibration as like a balloon underwater. The thing that holds the balloon underwater is like all of your trauma, all of your limiting beliefs, all of your density, all of your past programming. And when you start to heal that stuff, it's like your vibration just starts to kind of come to the top of the water where it's floating at the top. And then when it's finally at the top, like I feel like this is where I'm at because I've done so much inner child work, so much shadow work, so much healing of like my ineffective beliefs, that so much healing of my past programming that is not serving me anymore. My vibration is just really at a level where I can manifest a lot with my thoughts these days. Like I actually can just align to the frequency I want. I can call in the experiences that I want. But this hasn't ever been the case. Like this is the case maybe in the last year, and I've been on this inner child and shadow work healing journey for the past 10 years really. So all of this to say, if you're trying to raise your vibration, one of the best and easiest ways to do this is with trauma work, inner child healing, shadow work, father and mother wound work. And I'm going to give you guys a little teaser. If you're looking for one place to do all of this work, I am launching something very exciting in the next week. I'll tell you guys the name because I'm excited. And if you listen to the podcast, I feel like you guys are like my family. It's called Inner Work Alchemy, and it's going to be taking you through all of these things. But again, it's one of the easiest ways to raise your vibration. I think it's funny because in the manifestation world, there's so many of these like different ways to raise your vibration, you know, listen to good music and this and that. And yes, that all works, but we have to also remember that some are temporary fixes and other are really working with your core vibration. And that's where that trauma work comes in, is like when you're really doing that deep inner work, you're raising your vibration so that you can manifest quicker. And I've been talking a lot on my TikTok. I don't know if you guys follow me on TikTok, but if you don't, it's a great time over there. I feel like I'm the most authentic on my TikTok. I've been talking about all these ways that the universe has been supporting me recently and just kind of like making videos about them. And I've been coming to find that when you feel really safe within yourself and in the world, and you feel really secure within yourself and in the world, the universe is just going to give you more of those reflections back. Like it's genuinely just going to give you reflections of you being safe and secure. And I'll give you guys like one of the really fun examples. I have this core belief that I am safe in the world. I am taken care of. I will always have my needs met. I will always get the help I desire. And when I was first moving into my house, I would say, like, this is after my breakup, like over a year ago, when I was moving into my first apartment alone, I was so worried sick. I remember talking to my best friend Amanda, like, how do you move in alone? How do you lift the boxes? Like, how do you put furniture together? I was like so sad. I like didn't understand how I was going to do everything alone. Now that I'm looking, I was like so not secure within myself to figure it out. I was like really weak inside. And she was like, girl, you just figure it out. Like, you find help, you hire help, like it will work out. And then I remember moving into that apartment. I had probably 30 boxes out my side of my apartment. I had my couch, I had my table, I had my stools, all this stuff, right? And I was worried sick on the drive from OC to San Diego. That's where I was driving from. How am I going to get all this stuff in? Like, these are like 50-pound boxes, you know what I mean? And as soon as I get up into the garage to unload my stuff, there's a guy there and he's like, oh, do you want me to help you unload some of the stuff into the elevator? And I'm like, thank you so much. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, wow, yes. Then I go up to my apartment and I put my stuff down that I unloaded and I go outside and there's literally 30 boxes outside and I'm like, oh God, here we go. How am I going to get all this in? They're like stacked like higher than I am tall. So I'm not even sure how I'm going to get the top one down because it's like 50 pounds. It's my couch. And a guy walks by with his dog and he's like, hey, do you want me to help you? I can help you put some of these boxes inside. And I'm like, oh my freaking gosh. Like, yes, thank you. And as soon as I needed help putting things together, I like found help to hire someone right away. All this to say, that moment really taught me so much about relying on myself and trusting source to give you the help you need when you need it. That was like a really spiritual moment, like moving into that first apartment alone, having to put together all my furniture, put together all the things myself, hire help, pay for it all myself. You know, I was just so used to being in a relationship and splitting everything or him carrying the heavy stuff. And like, it just showed me so much like how strong I was and how the universe does have my back. Now, I'm going to kind of fast forward to this year. I just moved into this apartment, and although I didn't move in my furniture yet, I moved in myself and a lot of my clothes, and it was a lot. And I just knew, like I knew deep down, like I'm going to get the help that I need. I always get the help I need. Source always brings me the help I need. And so I told this story on my TikTok, but I'm going to tell it here because it's a really good story. About 5 days ago now, this was before I moved into this apartment, I was at a coffee shop in the old place that I lived. And I sit down at the bar and this guy that's 2 seats away from me is like, hey, like just starts talking to me and like wants to get to know me, which was fine. And he actually ended up switching seats with the girl in the middle of us so he could like talk to me. He was just a nice guy. I mean, he was like into men's work, super woke, super nice guy. Anyway, we start talking and he asks me, you know, whatever, like what I do. We start talking about my work. And then he's like, actually asks me on a date. And I actually kind of said no. And I was like, yeah, I'm moving. Sorry. Because I'm really just not focused on dating in this moment right now. I'm not. So he asks me on this date and I'm like, sorry, I'm not dating. I'm about to move too. And he's like, yeah, but you're just moving 30 minutes away. It's not that far. And he goes, I actually am going up there tomorrow because my friends are having a bonfire. Do you need help moving? And honestly, I didn't. I didn't need help because I was only moving my clothes and I wasn't moving any of my furniture. But I was like, oh my gosh, like the universe literally always has my back. Like I meet this random guy at the coffee shop. He is going to the place that I live that's 30 minutes north. And he offered to help me. Like that was just so nice. And I just like, I'm starting to take note of all these times that the universe is giving me what I need when I need it. I was like, okay, universe, show me more ways to trust you. Like I want to just have more and more of these synchronicities and I want to share about them. And so when I get into my apartment, I unload all my stuff. It's great. I actually am sleeping on like an air mattress right now because I have none of my furniture, but you know, we're roughing it and it's great. And look at this view. I mean, can you really get better than this? Kind of no. Long story short, I get to my apartment and I'm kind of stressed because this is like a Sunday and I'm like, I have so many calls on Monday and I have no desk. I have no Wi-Fi. I'm going to use my hotspot on my phone. Like, I don't know how I'm going to just like make it work, but I'm going to make it work. So I get to my apartment and I take a shower in the morning and my drain won't stop dripping. I text my landlord who lives literally like upstairs. She has a house and like I'm renting her casita under her house. She's like, oh no, like let me call a plumber. She's like, okay, so you can't work in your house right now. Do you want to use my office? And I'm like, oh my God, this worked out even better than I have expected. You know, like I didn't have an office. I didn't have a desk. And now I'm getting to use her office and her desk. So I use her office and her desk and it works out great. Now I have somewhere to work and I had no food. I was so hungry while I was working. I'm like, damn, I'm so hungry. And I also couldn't leave because my dog was with me and I didn't want to leave my dog in my apartment with like a plumber, you know? because he would freak out. He doesn't like random men. I was like, dang, I really want a snack. And then my landlord's like, let me show you around my house. And then she ends up making us a snack and we have lunch together. It was just like, and we connected and we talked about our lives and we talked about life and what we've learned in life. Like, it was just such a beautiful Monday. Now, today is Tuesday, so it was literally yesterday. And I was like, wow, I needed a place to work. Source gave me a place to work. I needed food. Source gave me food. And even today I was like, wow, I have nowhere to record my podcast. And then I just like looked at my patio and I'm like, this looks like a great place to record my podcast. Like, yeah, it might look a little janky, but like, whatever. It's a beautiful view. I'm sitting in the sun. What could go wrong, right? And I just want to tell these stories, honestly, because sometimes it's easy to think like, I'm not taken care of by the universe. The universe doesn't have my back, but like, the universe really does have your back. And I think that when you have the core belief that you're safe and held by the universe, it only gives you more reasons to believe that. And I was on a walk with my friend last night and we were talking about this. And I was like, this is actually our core vibration, like that we are always taken care of and held. Like, look at the birds, like look at the babies, look at small children. They don't worry about where their next meal is coming or where they're going to sleep at night, but they always are taken care of. They always have a place to sleep. And I'm realizing that as adults, we just get conditioned that our needs are not met. But if we can actually come back to our true essence and trust in source and God and remove the conditioning that we have to work hard and that things are not working out for us, then it's always going to work out. And so I think right now I'm like on this like surrender experiment path to magic where I'm like, universe, just show me how many synchronicities I can see. Show me how magical life can get. Show me more. And so I guess what I'm trying to say to you to make this like a full circle teaching moment is like, let's all make a list on our phone of all the ways the universe shows up for us. All the ways that we have trusted and it's come through better than expected, because I think it strengthens our trust muscle. And we're like, yeah, you know what? I'm always going to get what I need. I am always going to get what I need. Hell yes. Nothing is on accident, right? The universe is perfect. God is perfect. Surrender to God, all the things. And so, yeah, that's kind of been on my mind. I wanted to share that story. So hopefully it resonated and sparked something in you. This other concept that I've been thinking about a lot and I've been living by and I taught at the retreat was, I want to share about this word that has just been on my mind and I haven't been able to stop thinking about. And it's this word inevitable. The other day, I heard the word inevitable on a podcast or somewhere. I can't even remember. And the word just kept on like ringing in my mind. It was like inevitable. Like, wow. I was really feeling the frequency of the word inevitable. And I'm like, if you think something is inevitable, what does that mean? Inevitable means that no matter what, it's going to happen. And when you operate from this inevitable place, it really doesn't matter what you do because you know it's going to happen. You absolutely know that this thing is going to happen no matter what. And so I've been operating under the belief that whatever I want in life, whether I want my YouTube channel to grow or my Instagram to grow, or I want to sign a client, like how would I move in the world if I knew that what I wanted was inevitable? How would you move in the world if you knew that your desires were inevitable? It was going to happen no matter what. That's a different energy than, I hope it happens, or I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to try in this moment and I need proof that it's going to work, right? Like operating from a place of my success is inevitable is so much more powerful than operating of let me see if it's going to work. And I think that at a really strong core level, this is how I've always like really operated in my business. Like I've always just known my success is inevitable. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care who I have to hire. I don't care how much money I have to spend. It's inevitable. I'm going to be successful. It's inevitable. And I think that there's something to say when you are decisive with the universe is decisive with you. When you are telling the universe, this is how it needs to go, the universe makes it happen. The universe is listening to your core vibration. And when you're like a vibrational match to the success in this certain business, the universe has got you. It's going to move mountains. You know what I mean? Like this energy that's running your life is the energy that's created worlds. You don't think that it can put the right people into your life? It can find you a client out of the 8 billion people in this world, that it can bring you the perfect match boyfriend or girlfriend for you? Like, of course it can. It's the freaking divine intelligence, infinite intelligence that's inside of you. And so I just want you to operate and ask yourself, how would I move differently in the world if I knew my success was inevitable. As long as I take action, it's inevitable, right? If it's inevitable, it doesn't mean that you can't just sit in your bedroom and meditate. It means that you take the actions to support that inevitable nature of life. Hope that sparked something in you. Now, the last thing that's really been on my mind that we're going to talk about today is the law of impermanence. And this law does not get enough airtime, in my opinion. We hear about the law of attraction and the law of assumption and whatever. But have you ever heard of the law of impermanence? It's low-key one of the most slay laws. I want to be the marketing manager for the law of impermanence because it just needs more airtime. So the law of impermanence is a universal law that states that every single thing in the world, I wouldn't say except our soul and source, is impermanent, right? Like, this is a very impermanent 3D plane. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and the end. Every relationship, a beginning, a middle, and the end. Any emotion, a beginning, a middle, and the end. It's all impermanent. It's all going to end. And I think that this is a beautiful law to live by because when you're in pain, this can give you that higher perspective living and be like, wow, this is not forever. Like, nothing is forever. I'm going to just feel this fully because I know it's going to end. And on the contrary, when you're going through a really beautiful experience or something that you're grateful for, you should soak it up and savor it because it's not permanent. It's not going to last forever. That's the thing about life is it's in flux and flow. Money in flux and flow. Happiness in flux and flow. Relationships in flux and flow. Like, everything has ebbs and flows. So like, when it's good, like right now my life is really good. I'm like, I got to soak this up. I got to like be grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for this moment and knowing that it's not going to last forever. And there's other parts of my heart right now that I'm like, damn, I'm still hurting or I'm still struggling with this or this is like annoying me. And I'm like, doesn't last forever. Law of impermanence, right? And so when I think you operate or just have this law kind of in your vibration or in your mind and you just live by it, it just makes life a little bit easier to navigate. And what I'm really here to help you do is navigate this 3D experience that we call life just a little bit better. When we can move through things easier, move through lessons, when we can transmute pain, we do align to our highest timeline. We get what we want in this life. And at the end of the day, like, we came here to learn lessons, but we also came here to experience everything that we desire. You are a creator and you can create anything that you want. And the way that you create this is by remembering that you're a creator and moving through mindset blocks, trauma, anything. Right? And so I think this is where we're going to end today. I just want to remind you that no matter what's going on in your life, it's impermanent and you are the writer of your book. You're the writer of your book. You're the director. You're the actor, right? You're doing it all at once as source and also as you, right? I'm source pretending to be Kristen. I'm writing the play and I'm also playing it out. And when I remember that duality of life, well, now I can have the power to change the script. Right? And of course, this takes a lot of spiritual tools like quantum healing, inner child work, shadow work, manifestation. But that's what we're learning here, right? Like, that's what we're here to do. And there's no rush to master it. We just play the game. And when we learn the rules of the game, when we learn the tools of the game, we can play the game better. So I just want to remind you how powerful you are. Hope that you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the view. And if you're listening and not watching, you honestly should pull up the video because it's a beautiful view. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's kind of funny that I'm just doing a podcast outside. You probably might maybe hear birds, maybe hear cars. Sorry, my podcast manager might yell at me and be like, Kristen, you can't record outside anymore. Or she might say, that was amazing. You should record all your podcasts outside. Just make sure the lighting is better. And maybe we'll do some outside podcasts. I don't know. But wherever this finds you, thank you for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. I feel like my podcast community is really growing right now. Like, I get messages every day telling me that my podcast is helping you. And every single time I get a message, seriously, like, sometimes it's hard for me to actually think that people are on the other side listening. So thank you for listening. Please share it with any friends that you think that this would help. That's how the podcast grows. And the more it grows, the better I can. Oh my God, there's a butterfly. Oh, I hope it comes in the screen. Please come. That's how the podcast grows. The more it grows, the better it's going to be. The better production, the better guests, all that stuff. So I love you guys. I hope that you have a beautiful week and I will see you next week. Mwah. Bye.